Hey everyone, and welcome back to our magical corner of YouTube. Have you ever wondered about the secrets hidden in the tallest towers or the magic woven into the longest hair? Today we're climbing into one of the most enchanting stories ever told. Get ready for the tale of Rapunzel, the girl with the golden hair and a heart full of dreams. Once upon a time, in a kingdom nestled between sunny hills and lush forests, lived a kind couple who longed for a child. From their window, they could see a magnificent walled garden belonging to a powerful enchantress named Mother Gothel. The garden was filled with the most tempting fruits and vegetables, but the most prized of all was a rare plant called Rapunzel. The wife, soon to be a mother, developed an overwhelming craving for it. She felt she would waste away if she couldn't have some. Seeing his wife's despair, the husband, driven by love and fear, decided to risk everything. Under the cover of darkness, he climbed the high wall into Gothel's garden. He quickly gathered a handful of the Rapunzel plant and rushed back to his wife, who ate it greedily. But her craving only grew stronger. The next night he had to return. This time, however, as he landed in the garden, he found himself face to face with the furious Mother Gothel. Her eyes gleamed with cold anger. "How dare you sneak into my garden and steal my Rapunzel like a common thief?" she hissed. The man begged for mercy, explaining his wife's desperate craving. Gothel's expression softened, but only slightly. "Very well," she said, her voice dripping with cunning. "You may take all the Rapunzel you wish, but on one condition. You must give me the child your wife will soon bear. I will care for it as if it were my own." Terrified, the man agreed. And so, the moment a beautiful baby girl was born, Mother Gothel appeared. She named the child Rapunzel, after the plant her mother had craved, and whisked her away. Gothel didn't raise Rapunzel in a normal home. Instead, she took the girl deep into the forest to a tall, imposing tower with no doors and no stairs, only a single room at the very top with one window. As Rapunzel grew, so did her hair. It was spun gold, shimmering in the sunlight, and it grew to an incredible length. It was the most magnificent hair anyone had ever seen. When Mother Gothel wanted to visit, she would stand at the base of the tower and call out in her sing-song voice, "Rapunzel, Rapunzel, let down your hair so that I may climb the golden stair." Hearing the call, "Rapunzel, Rapunzel, let down your hair so that I may climb the golden stair." Hearing the climb, the golden stair. Hearing the call, Rapunzel would unpin her long, braided tresses, wrap them around a hook by the window, and let them tumble all the way down to the ground. Gothel would then grip the hair and climb up, her only way into the tower. For years, this was Rapunzel's entire world. She had the birds for friends and her own beautiful voice for company. She would sing melodies that echoed through the forest, songs of longing and curiosity about the world she could only glimpse from her window. She knew nothing of people, of towns, or of life beyond her stone walls and Mother Gothel's visits. She was lonely, but she didn't know what she was missing. One fateful day, a handsome prince was riding through that same forest. He was the son of the king, and he often explored the more hidden parts of his kingdom. As he neared the clearing, he heard a sound that stopped him in his tracks. It was a voice, so pure and enchanting that he had never heard anything like it. It was Rapunzel, singing to pass the time. The prince was utterly captivated. He had to find the source of this heavenly music. He followed the sound until he reached the mysterious tower. He circled it, searching for a door but found none. He was perplexed. How could anyone live here? He returned day after day, Yintel in the trees, just to listen to her beautiful singing. It was the highlight of his days, a secret treasure he kept for himself. One afternoon, as he was listening, he saw Mother Gothel approach the tower. He watched, hidden, as she called out, "Rapunzel, Rapunzel, let down your hair." He saw the magnificent cascade of golden hair fall from the window and watched in astonishment as the old woman climbed up. Suddenly, it all made sense. The prince now knew the secret of the tower. He had found the way to meet the girl with the angelic voice. He waited until dusk, after Gothel had left. His heart pounded with a mix of excitement and nervousness. He took a deep breath and, imitating Gothel's voice as best he could, He called out, "Rapunzel, Rapunzel, let down your hair." A moment later, the golden braid cascaded down. With a firm grip, the prince began to climb. When he reached the top and pulled himself through the window, Rapunzel gasped in fright. She had never seen another person besides Mother Gothel. But the prince's eyes were kind and he spoke to her gently. He told her how her singing had enchanted him, and how he couldn't rest until he met her. Slowly, Rapunzel's fear faded, replaced by a blossoming curiosity and a warmth she had never felt before. They talked for hours, sharing stories of their two very different worlds. From that day on, the prince visited her every evening. They fell deeply in love, and the lonely tower room was filled with laughter and shared dreams. Rapunzel, who had only known isolation, finally felt true happiness. They made a plan. The prince would bring a skein of silk with him each time he visited, and Rapunzel would weave it into a ladder. When it was long enough, she could climb down and they could run away together, far from Mother Gothel's grasp. But their secret was not to last. One day, as Rapunzel was helping Gothel up the tower, she said without thinking, "You are so much heavier to pull up than the young prince. He is with me in a moment." The words hung in the air. Mother Gothel's face contorted with rage and betrayal. "You wretch!" she shrieked. "I thought I had separated you from all the world, and yet you have deceived me." In her fury, Gothel grabbed a pair of shears. Snip, snip. In a flash, the magnificent golden braids fell to the floor. Her vengeance wasn't complete. She used her magic to transport the sobbing Rapunzel to a desolate, barren wasteland, leaving her there to fend for herself, alone and heartbroken. With the severed braids in hand, Gothel waited in the tower. That evening, the unsuspecting prince arrived and called out his usual song. Gothel let down the cut hair. The prince climbed, filled with anticipation, only to be met by the venomous glare of the enchantress. "You came for your songbird, but the cat has got her, and she will sing no more," she cackled. "You will never see her again." In utter despair and horror, the prince let go of the braids and fell from the tower. He survived the fall, but he landed in a patch of thorns below, which blinded him. Heartbroken and unable to see, he stumbled away from the tower, his life shattered. For years he wandered the land as a blind beggar, eating nothing but roots and berries, his only sustenance the memory of Rapunzel's voice. He called out her name in every village and forest, but there was never an answer. Meanwhile, Rapunzel was surviving in the wilderness. It was a harsh life, but she was resourceful, and she was not entirely alone. After some time she gave birth to twins, a boy and a girl, children of her and the prince. She raised them with love, often singing the songs the prince had so admired, her voice now carrying a deep, sorrowful beauty. One day, the wandering prince, now a gaunt and broken man, stumbled into the very same wasteland where Rapunzel lived. He heard a familiar, impossibly beautiful voice singing a song of sorrow. He followed the sound, his heart daring to hope. Could it be? He called out, "Rapunzel?" Rapunzel heard her name and saw the blind man. She recognized him instantly. It was her prince. She ran to him, and they fell into each other's arms. As she wept with joy and relief, 2 of her tears fell upon his eyes. In that moment, a miracle occurred. The magic of her love, contained in her tears, healed him. His sight was restored. The first thing he saw was the face of his beloved Rapunzel and their 2 beautiful children standing beside her. The prince led his newfound family back to his kingdom, where they were welcomed with a celebration that lasted for days. The king and queen were overjoyed to have their son back, and they adored Rapunzel and their grandchildren. And Rapunzel, who had spent her life in a lonely tower, finally found her true home, surrounded by love and family. They lived together, happily and contentedly, for the rest of their days. What a journey, right? From a lonely tower to a kingdom of love. It just goes to show that even when things seem their darkest, a little bit of hope and a lot of love can create the most beautiful happily ever after. Thank you so much for joining me on this adventure today. If you enjoyed this fairy tale, don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe for more stories. Let me know in the comments which fairy tale you'd like to hear next. Until then, keep believing in the magic. Bye.